Okay, the efficiency for this game has changed, in my opinion. The things you want to do are now different. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to kind of cosplay Rax here for a moment and use paint. What I want to show you is what the previous meta basically was and what I believe going into the game the changes are going to be from this point forward. So previously, the only thing that matters is Paragon level, basically, okay? This is part of the reason some of the content creators quit the game. They hated the fact that the Paragon levels are gated. Paragon level is going to do everything from the blacksmith upgrades to the gear you can equip to the difficulties you can use. It's basically the thing that gates everything. So Paragon level has always been the most important thing. The best way to get Paragon level is overworld farming. So people have considered this right here to effectively be your #1 strategy, is just to run in a circle and overworld farm. I've been a big proponent of this because overworld farming is also going to give you items. Items are the entire point of items is to increase essentially your combat rating, and combat rating is once again what dictates what it is you can accomplish in the game. Combat rating is going to do everything from increasing what hell difficulty you're at all the way to helping you out in, you know, things like PvP, PvE, anything in the game. Combat rating is anything in the game. This is one of the most important stats in the entire game. We all know this, okay? So because of the previous methods, basically Paragon farm in the overworld, run in a circle, get extremely bored as long as you can until you're the highest Paragon level, get the new items, take those new legendary items, equip the new combat rating, go to the next hell difficulty if you can't already, or you might have already been pre-farming these in order to get this combat rating. You could have been going like this in this path. Either way, it doesn't matter. The in-game result is the same. Then you go do PvP, PvE, whatever you want. Okay. Now I actually think it's different. I actually think it's different because you have to realize something. I want to show you, and let me break it down for you. Look at this. So if we actually go to the difficulty here and we look at the hell difficulty, there's something you're going to notice. Normal difficulty, okay, is 1 to 60 Paragon. Hell 1 is 1 to 60 Paragon. Hell 2 is 30 Paragon, meaning it's 30 Paragon from Hell 1 to Hell 2, 15 days. Hell 2 to Hell 3, 50 Paragon, meaning 25 days. Hell 3 to Hell 4, okay, is 70 Paragon, 35 days. Now look at this. Hell 4 to Hell 5 is 240 Paragon, meaning 45 days. Now, it's very easy for us to just look at it from our goggles and be like, okay, well, it's just the next difficulty, just rinse and repeat the same thing. But the time is getting longer because there is a point in which you hit 0% experience. I'm at 60% myself right now. I'm not going to grind to 10%. I'm not going to grind till I literally can't get any more experience anymore. I'm not going to do it. A lot of people don't do this either. And because of this, right here, this server Paragon level, you cannot grind to Hell 5 quicker than just like 12 levels above the Paragon. That's it. So you're still stuck waiting a minimum of 39 days after Paragon levels already hits 150. But if you're ahead of the curve, it's the same 45 days. It doesn't matter because if you're ahead, the Paragon has got to move up anyway. Moving from 144 all the way up until they can be 12 levels above for the 240 to 228 is just as long as waiting from 150 to 240. It's the same thing. They have to wait just as long, okay? Now, if you look at the people on the top leaderboards, they're getting absolute insane combat rating right now. And you can look here, for instance, this is CV, a good player, 5,300 combat rating. Because if you actually look at it, where their stats are coming from is look at these insane numbers on things like rings. We have triple row rings, etc. This is 300 combat rating from a ring. Right now, I have 100 combat rating from a ring. So that's 200 combat rating from one ring, 400 combat rating from 2 ring increase just right there. So obviously, what we are shifting our priority on is now going to be changing because if you actually look at it, before there was only a few item spots of which we had upgrades to work with, but now we have 6 item spots because of the way Hell 4 works. We're allowed to now complete and farm all of these different set pieces. So how does this actually change the fact that there's 6 set items change the equation? Well, we still have to have Paragon levels, right? This still gates everything. The game's mechanics didn't change, just the ratio of what we want to do has changed. We still need Paragon levels, but we no longer need to do the, remember this overworld farming we would do? We don't have to do the overworld farming anymore because we have 45 days, 90 Paragon levels to go, and we're going to be getting a lot of that experience from the things like the Battle Pass. Why am I mentioning the Battle Pass now, right? Normally that's kind of bonus experience. Well, if the time gets longer, it's more weeks we're going to be getting experience out of the Battle Pass. Granted, there's going to be more total XP we need, but what we can do is we can use the Battle Pass, and we can also use this combined with one other thing which is going to be our new focus. This is the new most efficient thing. It's dungeons. Because it does the battle pass. One, you're going to get capped on it weekly. You also still get experience from it, and you also still get legendary items. You get normal legendary items, but more importantly, and the major focus on basically all of this is, combat rating is still king. You still need combat rating, okay? You have to get this. In order to get this now, the meta has shifted because the server Paragon level is up where everyone has it. You have to get a 6-piece set item or you will be behind on combat rating. This is not a debate, okay? It's objective. The server Paragon level, now the server Paragon level here is so high from the server Paragon level that the combat rating and sets are basically mandatory. This also means one other thing. It means you might be thinking, oh, well, I'm 20% experience, it's gonna take me to dungeons. Yes, maybe for you, you still are gonna have to do some overworld farming, but most people who join the game right now are gonna have 400% bonus experience, including for their battle pass. They will be flying up the levels, which means they're gonna get to this 150 level way faster than you and I did. And when they did, if they did it through overworld farming, they will have no set items, and they will have to farm the entirety of these set items. Now, overworld farming is still going to be your second most efficient, in my personal opinion. But the dungeons right now are basically the best thing you can do, because the 6-piece sets are incredible. You have to have the combat rating, especially from the things like the rings. If you have bonus experience from starting more soon, you're going to be receiving that bonus experience in things like Battle Pass. We have 45 days worth of time to go 90 levels. They are keeping it consistent where it's 2 days a level, but the levels are higher, right? We need 90 levels to go there. And during these 90 levels, from Hell 4 to Hell 5, what we need to do is basically get set items. We need to complete our set items because that's where our largest combat rating is going to go. Take it from me, somebody who has been keeping at about just about 60%. I've done a lot of grinding at 30%, and I had 2 days where I actually had a green bar for once, but I've been keeping right about here. If you ignore your dungeons for too long, you will not have a massive combat rating upgrade when you get to 150 Paragon, because if you're focusing mostly on overworld like I have been, and you're going to Hell 4, etc., you get a couple of these items, but the reality is the biggest upgrade are from the dungeons, because we've been struggling with these lower combat rating, worse pieces from the set items, especially the fact that we don't have the rings. So right now, in my own personal opinion, if I had to look at it, I think the meta is totally different. I think definitely the most important thing, it probably looks like this. It used to be overworld farming and then dungeons, okay? It used to be like this. Number 1, number 2, twinsies. This is now here. It now goes dungeons, then overworld farming, okay? That's where we're at. In my own personal opinion, this is where we're at. Dungeons are way too important right now to be slept on, and they're going to be even more important from 150 Paragon to 240, because now we can all farm them. We need the set items. That's where we're going to be getting most of the combat rating, and the 6-piece set items are ridiculous. The other part I didn't even mention about this too is when you go from, like, if I go from Necro the Wizard, all of these set items here, the intelligence is going to transfer, and I will be able to keep all of these pieces. For instance, these are reservists, so obviously that's not going to, but things like the Shepherd here, these that have intelligence, all of these will keep the same stats. I will be able to equip these same sets. This has been proven when I went from like Monk to Barbarian, Strength to Strength, I was able to keep all the sets. So if you are either a Strength person, you have 4 other classes, or 3 other classes. If you are an Intelligence person, you have 1 other class, in which all of the set items you farm will 100% transfer with you. So if you decide to farm and do another class, you're not wasting everything where you're going to have to refarm and get another upgrade because you're going to have reservist pieces. In my own opinion, dungeons are currently the best thing to farm in the game. I would get going on the dungeons. Once I hit 150, I'm going to have a giant combat rating upgrade, and I'm going to be testing out these 6-piece sets. I got to do a lot more dungeon farming, and dude, I could go on more reasons, but really the reality of it is the set item pieces take a very, very long time to grind. And so all of the, even if you, let's say you disagree with all my other points and you're like, no, overworld farm, oh, you can just do your daily dungeons, whatever. Sure, so be it. You still have to farm an obscene amount of dungeons either way. And if you farm those dungeons first and you have all those set bonuses and everything, etc., your overworld farming will be faster, will it not? You could argue, well, your dungeons are going to be faster because you have higher combat rating, etc., and you have to do some amount of overworld farming in order to get the combat rating to be able to really do the dungeons and get in a party and all that. However, You have to have the combat rating for overworld farming too. It's the same thing. You have to have it for both of these. The only difference for me is the 6-piece set, the fact that you get in the slots we didn't have before, and the fact that it's going to take way longer to grind the dungeons, and we're going to be waiting 45 days literally anyway. So if you're something like 140 Paragon level going to 150, take that last 10 levels and do it all in dungeons. You'll thank yourself for it later. If this video helped at all, or even if you disagree and just enjoyed the conversation and entertainment, consider subscribing to the channel to see me again. Like the video if you want to help me out, and I'll see you on the next video.